Hey, I just want to talk real quick about something that kind of comes back around pretty frequently as I'm working, and I tend to forget about it sometimes, and it really kind of bites me when I forget about it, and I say, oh, okay, so this is what I need to be paying attention to. And what I'm talking about is just being really generous and intentional with the clay when I'm making whatever it is I'm making. In this case, I was working on some 2.5 pound bowls, and I just really wanted to have a nice thick rim. And so when I threw these, they could have came on out a little bit, but I really wanted to have this nice thick beefy rim. And so I stopped it here and I beefed these up when I was throwing it. And I also wanted to make sure they had a decent foot, so I left plenty of clay in the base so that I could turn a nice foot ring on them. So it's easy to forget about this when you're making or when I'm working, because I may be thinking about something else or just kind of off in la-la land. But just being real intentional about what I'm doing allows me to end up with nicer pots. This bowl is a tall-footed bowl. This is the foot ring here. It's upside down. I'll show you through 4 of these. These haven't been turned yet. They're sort of still damp. But I did turn this one. And I left the clay walls pretty thick, and I had plenty of clay here in the foot. Let me turn this over, and I'll show you how this looks. So I get a nice, tall, substantial foot ring. And also, since the pot wasn't thrown terribly thin, then when I'm turning it, I get some nice tool marks. If that was thrown very, very thinly, then it would be hard to get any kind of marks from the cutting. So that sort of has a dual purpose there. It's a nice substantial pot, and it gets some nice cutting rings from when I finished it off. These pots are made with just a little bit less clay than this is, and you can see they're wider. They also have a nice beefy rim, and I was really intentional about leaving enough clay in the base so that I didn't have a puny foot on these. I got a little bit of a wider foot, and just a nice tool marks, nice from the cutting, and just from plenty of clay in the clay wall, and not a puny foot ring either. Something I didn't mention is, I want this to be substantial too. Well, not so substantial, but I want it to be in proportion to the rest of the pot. So nice foot ring, nice turning marks. Just the whole package. Alright, so that's about it. I just kind of wanted to go over a little bit of that and let you know what I think about as I'm working on things sometimes and how they come out. Alright, thanks for checking in.